for County Commissioner Harold Cogdell.
Yeah, that's right, Stacey. The beat goes on.
On the local level. More so on the state and federal level, because people want to get into values and all those kinds of things. You know, where are you on abortion? Where are you on several other items, okay? Here, whether you are Democrat or Republican, we all should want a safe community. Whether you're Democrat or Republican, we all should want economic development opportunities. The list goes on. I can go straight down that. Harold gets that accordingly. But I will tell you that there's still some battles that are going on between the D's and the R's. And folk want to stick their chest way out tonight who might be Democrats. Aisha Dew is the chairwoman of the Mecklenburg Board of, not the Mecklenburg Board, but the Mecklenburg County Democrats. She is the chairwoman of the party. That's my phone going off over there. Tonight, if we can pan down some by way of the results we've seen, and what is a surprising, really, move tonight, we've seen where, for whatever purpose, for whatever reasons, Republicans did not vote. And you'll see that in tomorrow's paper. They didn't vote. They didn't come out for whatever reason or another. Early voting, Democrats really came out hard. The Republicans did not come out very hard at all. In fact, it was worse this year in 11 than it was in 09. And as a result, it appears that there may have been a sweep here. We have 166 of 168 precincts reporting. Y'all give it up also for Mayor Anthony Fox. 55,000 votes so far for him. The Democrats came in and had 67% of the vote. I mean, of the precincts reporting 67% and 31.8% of Republicans. I'm interested to see what the headline is going to be tomorrow. But somebody wasn't moved to do a few things. Now, mind you, our candidacy even picked up, in the way of talking to some people tonight, we picked up our own pretty good share of Republican votes. Someone said to me, one Republican said, hey, look, I don't see a D on Patrick Cannon besides his middle name. What I see is somebody who has a can-do spirit and an ability to want to get something done for all of the city of Charlotte. And so they fell back on some of that, it looks like, and trusted in it. So right now, you see where we are. Then you have, where's David Howard? 47,000. And then you have Claire Fallon, someone who's running for the very first time, serves on the Planning Commission, 41,000. And Beth Pickering, a newcomer, at 39,000 votes. Edwin Peacock dropped down. Somebody said, oops. Currently, over there. He's at, I got more 34,000 votes and phone calls from that lady than anybody in the last few months. But she's been working really, really hard. And we thank her for her level of involvement. Thank you so much for your leadership. Now, going forward, y'all give it up for Stacey Black. That's my colleague on my 92.7 each and every Saturday for Amy with Cannon Live at 9 a.m. with me, Cannon. Patrick D, that is. Is that how we do it, Stacey? That's how we do it. But going forward, relative to economic development, if companies and or corporations can start talking about maybe moving from Charlotte to go overseas, why wouldn't we, as a city, be looking to go overseas to bring companies to Charlotte? If what BMW has done for Greenville-Spartanburg, why couldn't Patrick Cannon or County Commissioner Harold Cogdell work to bring about Mercedes-Benz to Charlotte? We have to have a greater vision than what we have for Charlotte. And it has to go beyond the borders of the United States. That's my vision. That's what I'm thinking. As we talk about international companies being right here. You probably have read something about Chiquita. Everybody's going bananas over Chiquita. Or the opportunity. But we need to make sure that we are recruiting blue-collar opportunities as much as we are recruiting white-collar opportunities. Because if we don't do that, we are setting our city up. We're setting ourselves up for people to not to have an opportunity and to engage in what? Crime. So that leads me to the next point. Even though we are at a 30-year low and have a fantastic police chief in that of Chief Rodney Monroe, we still have a work to do. Burglaries need to be concentrated on, but homicides, which have dropped tremendously, is great. You know, the random type homicides. But where we are up, domestic homicides. It's the husband that has taken his wife's life, or the wife that has taken the husband's life, or the cousin that has shot his or her own cousin, or the sister that has done on to her sister, or brother, or what have you. That's a hard something for us to get our arms around because it is domestic related. But I have called for a roundtable, and I hope that Commissioner Cogdell will join me at the table with the police chief, Erica Bryant with WSOC TV, and a couple of other retired police officers who want to engage in what it is that we can do to at least have an educational campaign about how do you find out what the signs are. You all may have seen where a little boy took his own parent's life. What's this place coming to? That's not Charlotte, Mecklenburg. It doesn't have to be. But we need to do something relative to crime and making sure that, yes, let's lower it, and let's brag about our 30-year lows, but let's continue to make sure that we are doing all in which we can to reduce that. And that means that you also must partner with police. Neighborhood watch means nothing if nobody's watching. So what have you done to pull that blind down, move that curtain over to see what's happening outside your own front door or at your neighbor's house? If you hadn't done it, be about the program, because if you're not about that program will get with you. You want to encourage your neighbors to be a part of that process. The last thing, quality of life. Let's make sure that we're doing all of which we can to make Charlotte an affordable place for all of us to live, work, and to raise our families accordingly. You may have heard me say, or you may have seen it on the back of our information, the one thing I voted for twice was making sure that we could, if we had an opportunity to lower your property taxes, that we could do that. That if I had an opportunity and it wasn't justified for me to raise your water fees, that we reduce those fees. They weren't reduced. I just had to vote against them being, I just couldn't get with what was being proposed. It just didn't make sense to me how corporations, big corporations, ain't that right, Ms. Hood? That's right. How big corporations could be charged less for their water usage, and those of you who are middle class or senior in our community would have to pay a higher number for the least amount of water that you would use. And I just had a lady that called me the other day. Look, her bill, she's on a fixed income. Typically her bill's $30 a month, $20 a month. She's single. $300 a month bill. So we've had to work on that situation. I had to get, see mud right. But we need to find out what's going on with that. We can do that. That's a Charlotte-Mecklenburg situation. So again, County Commissioner Cogdell is going to help rectify that matter. But that's what I want to say. Those are some of the issues that I want to continue to concentrate on and to build our city, to make it Charlotte International, not just Charlotte, USA. We can do it, but it can't be done without your level of support. And so I ask for your continued support through this next term that we'll be serving, because without you, there's certainly no way I can be a part of making a difference. Thank you all again so much. Tracy, ain't no stopping us now, y'all. I'm trying to tell you.